Ravi, one more thing is very important is national alignment. I'll tell you what I want to, just to reiterate on that. See, today, nation tells you what nation wants. Like, for example, the Vision 2030 of the healthcare vision that has been given by the government is digitally reaching the last citizen of India.
Last mile connectivity.
Right? So, and they have given quadrants and areas of medical challenges or healthcare challenges which they want to solve through young minds and innovators like startups.
Telemedicine is a great opportunity.
Telemedicines, diagnostics, invasive technologies, right? Then we talk about remote capabilities of healthcare reach, right? So I'm just giving you a few examples. Similarly, Industry 4.0, which is there on the rise. You know, so 2030 vision of the government, which we call now, we have added Jai Vigyan, Jai Anusandhan, that innovation. Industry 4.0 has become the fourth revolution of the nation. We term it as the fourth revolution, Industry 4.0. And the charter talks about bringing efficiency, savings, income elevation and all. And the third is agriculture, where we talk about doubling farmers' income, right? And nation as a whole, we talk about becoming X trillion dollar country. What I'm trying to say is, today, let's say, if you have a startup in healthcare, but you have not mapped your brand existence with the vision of India. So you've not able to even create your brand story that you will be contributing immensely to that sector or the Indian story. That is very important. Before you create your individual story, keep in mind that your brand story needs to align with the national vision. And that's very important. Imagine India talks digital India, educated India. UN chapter of sustainability goals talk about eradicating poverty, creating more jobs,
employment,
inclusivity, gender diversity. You need to know the exact alignment of your startup with the national and global vision. And then you'll have to create a brand strategy to start with a brand narrative. And that's where you start creating a sketch for your success. You work solo, you create products in silo, you will die a certain death.
I think that's very brilliantly summarized, but suddenly some of the question which is cropping up to my mind, it might sound a little political, but you can choose not to answer that if you want to.
Please.
But I would want you to answer. Does the government of India, do they do a good branding work?
Well, now, if you ask me, today, our leaders who are running the constitution, Ravi, plus or minus, doesn't matter. But we are heard, we are seen at a global stage. Today, our leaders are globally recognized. I'm not saying the earlier leaders were not. What I'm trying to say is, India today, with efforts, and it could be any government, but the India story is rising. That's why we call Rising India.
Let me pull you back.
Yes.
The context of my question.
Yes.
You took a couple of programs names.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the names of the programs?
I talked about Vision 2030 of healthcare.
No, you said something in Hindi.
I talked about Digital India. I talked about Literate India. I talked about...
You said something about in Hindi.
Jai Vigyan, Jai Anusandhan. Yes.
Yes. Can you repeat it again?
It is Jai Vigyan, Jai Anusandhan.
29% of this population in this country, they live in 5 southern states.
Agree.
They don't even understand what you just said.
Yeah.
Indian government is doing a great job. Why can't they focus on branding? Because these efforts are not reaching 29% of the population living in 5 southern states.
Yeah.
The communication, the brand propulsion,
100%.
the efforts which is made by the government of India
You're right.
are not really understood by the people at the ground.
Yeah.
You can choose not to answer this question, but that's why I asked you.
No, I would definitely answer this question, Ravi. While it's important to do a better branding and communication about the policies and vision that India focuses on. Our leadership needs to be more articulate, vernacularly. Geographic divide needs to be kept in mind before even diverging a lot of and amplifying these communication. What I'm trying to say is there was a vision and there is a vision, a line talking made in India. Now, made in India is a very powerful line of action.
What are the equivalent to that in India? Atmanirbhar?
Atmanirbhar Bharat, or the independent India, or the stronger India, because technology, we Indians.
Do you remember Kanimari made a joke about that in Parliament?
100%.
She tried to read it twice. She said, "Why are you naming them so difficult? We can't even pronounce that."
So, Ravi, that's what I'm saying. That there is always a space to improve. What I'm trying to say is the starts are made. There's an initiative. It's again okay. Let me put it in a very different manner. When a product is born, or let's say when a human being is born, parents wants to keep a name which should be unique in nature. Okay.
Right.
Now, let's say somebody wants to, somebody wants to keep their kid's name as, let's say, Eklavya. Now, it's not necessarily that Eklavya connects with each and every audience in India. Yeah, but it's a uniquely positioned name for their kid.
You know how Eklavya is said in Tamil?
How?
Ekalavan.
Eklavan. See,
we add na to it.
Yeah, so my point, Ravi, to that point, why I brought this analogy is, good thing is starts are made.
I brought this topic on a very lighter tone. The problem is, every good effort which is made by this government, reaching the global stage, also need to reach to every citizen of this country.
Imagine Government of India, what they're doing also like a startup now. They're learning, they're improving. They also need to learn the brand strength, brand value, and how to take that brand narrative across divergent stakeholders and citizens of India if they want to reach the last mile or the last mile connectivity or the last citizen with any service or any scheme. They need to communicate the message clearly. As you rightly said, it needs to cut across in the most viable manner, most constructive manner.
I'll borrow a conundrum from you. If they don't focus on that, there are middlemen who will dilute all your efforts.
100%.
And they'll communicate it differently to the end mass.
Right. Absolutely.
That's where the branding need to
Absolutely
come.
Correct.
To pull you back, I'm really not sure whether I'm going to use this footage or not, but it's fun having this conversation.
No, it was really fun. Very interesting.